عن أمير المؤمنين أبي حفص عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما العمل بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى.
And this is why now we move on to the next issue. The Shaykh says, the greatest thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered with is Tawheed, which is single Allah out in worship. Now the Shaykh, the definition of Tawheed he gives here is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, which is the most important type of Tawheed. This is the most, all three types, this is the most important. To single Allah in worship. And then the Shaykh moves on and he moves on to Shirk. And he said the worst thing that Allah has forbade is Shirk, which is to worship others along Him or besides Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we need to speak about Shirk quickly. The first issue is, what is the definition of Shirk? Shirk is the opposite of Tawheed. If you know the definition of Tawheed, Shirk is the opposite. Tawheed is to single Allah in everything which is exclusive to Him, right? So khalas, Shirk is that you give any of the exclusivities of Allah to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's Shirk. Or some have said that you equate Allah with other than Allah in that which is from the exclusivities of Allah. And different ways of saying it, all mean the same thing. Anything which is exclusive to Allah, you give to other than Allah, it becomes Shirk. And you worship is only for Allah. You now worship other than Allah, you pray to other than Allah, that's Shirk. Even showing off, we're going to get to the type of Shirk, but it's no longer Tawheed, because now you're praying a salah to show off to somebody. That's no longer Tawheed. You've gone into the realm of Shirk. Yeah? Okay. What are the different types of Shirk? Now there's many different types. I want to talk about the different types of Shirk from the angle of its ruling. From the angle of its ruling. From the angle of its ruling, there's two types of Shirk. Shirk Akbar and Shirk Asghar. Major Shirk and minor Shirk. Major Shirk and minor Shirk. Now what's the difference between major and minor? Major Shirk, I'm going to mention three differences, okay? Three differences. Major Shirk takes you out of the fold of Islam, minor Shirk does not. Major Shirk takes you out of the fold of Islam, minor Shirk does not. So if you show off in your salah, you're still a Muslim. It's a type of Shirk, but you're still a Muslim. In comparison to somebody doing full on sujood to a grave and all sorts of these major shirky actions, that takes a person out of the fold of Islam. So the first difference, major Shirk takes you out of the fold of Islam, minor Shirk, still Shirk, but you're still a Muslim. Number two, major Shirk nullifies all of your actions, but minor Shirk only nullifies the action that you are doing. This is if you die upon that Shirk. So for example, at the end of your life, you committed major Shirk, you didn't do Tawbah, you die upon major Shirk. It doesn't matter, all the good deeds that you've done throughout your life are not accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you had Tawheed, but let's say in one salah, you were showing off. That's minor Shirk. Your other righteous actions that you did are accepted, if they were sincere, but that particular salah is not accepted. You see a difference? Major Shirk nullifies all of the actions that you did. Minor Shirk just nullifies that particular action that you did. And the third difference is the one who commits major Shirk and doesn't do Tawbah is in the hellfire forever. Whereas minor Shirk, that's not the case. That's not the case with minor Shirk. So what are the three differences? Number one, major Shirk takes you out of the fold of Islam, minor Shirk does not. Number two, major Shirk nullifies all of the actions that you've done, minor Shirk, just that particular action. And number three, major Shirk, you're in the hellfire forever, minor Shirk, that's not the case. Okay? No. Okay, and then the Shaykh at the end, he mentions an ayah, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Worship Allah, you worship Allah alone, and do not commit shirk with Him. So you have your wa'budullah affirmation, worship Allah, and you have your negation, وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا, do not commit shirk with Him. And now we understand what shirk is better. At the box at the bottom, the author says, the meaning of to worship me is to single me out in worship. This is statement of Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. as I mentioned, where he said, or it's taken from his statement, every time the word worship is used in the Qur'an, then it means Tawheed. Okay, that's what Ibn Abbas said. Some ulama have said he didn't say those exact words, but it's taken from all of his tafsir when he puts it together. Every time he explained the word ibadah, it means Tawheed, i.e. to single out Allah in that worship. So even if the word alone is not it's not actually said, Allah doesn't say the word faqat or only or innama, doesn't use the word alone in the Arabic, you can put that in translation, nothing wrong, because that's the meaning. Every time Allah uses the word worship, it means to worship Him alone. And is that my statement? No. Who's it taken from? Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. Ibn Abbas is known as Turjuman al-Quran, the one who does the tafsir of the Quran. The Prophet made dua for him, Allahumma faqihhu fi din wa allimhu at-ta'wil. Oh Allah, give him the understanding of the religion, and give him the understanding of the tafsir of the Quran. This is a dua the Prophet made for Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. So he's the one that is saying this. Okay. With